So the first weapon to be covering for the Driller's Guide on weapons is going to be the CRISPR flamethrower, or just the flamethrower. The flamethrower, like all of the weapons for the Driller, is designed to be a close range crowd control weapon. All three of its primary weapons accomplish the same general role. The difference is the type of elemental damage that they deal. It's important to know that going into it. They are all primarily close range weapons. The flamethrower and the cryo cannon are literally two sides of the same coin, with the sludge pump being the only real different one. The flamethrower has weird stats on it though. So it deals 11 damage on direct contact and 10 heat to build up in the target per second. The gun doesn't have a traditional rate of fire, but more so a flow rate. Increasing your flow rate is essentially increasing your rate of fire, which I don't really think is necessary. The gun has a 50-round magazine before it has to be reloaded, and a 300 tank size in total, in terms of your total carrying capacity, so approximately 6 reloads with no modifiers. Reload takes 3 seconds, it has a reach of 10 meters, and it has something called sticky flame, where if it sticks to a surface, it'll stay on fire and light the ground on fire for that duration. There are a few sticky flame builds out there, which I'm just going to cover right now, are good if you spray the fire in front of you so that enemies walk through it and take damage over time and build up. Your primary goal with this weapon is going to be to set things on fire and continue to set them on fire. There are a few options that are shared here. There are 2 separate fuel modifiers. Both grant a bonus 75 in ammo. So we will be covering those very shortly. The overclocks for this weapon primarily do things like increase damage, take away damage, increase ammo, take away ammo, increase range, take away range, increase flow rate, take away flow rate. They're mostly stat changes. They don't really change how the gun functions all that much and can be actually modified pretty well. This makes it the most balanced and the most consistently reliable option of all of the driller weapons. It also doesn't really require that much effort to use. You just hold down the trigger at something that's in front of you and it dies eventually. Either you're gonna die or it's gonna die. So I just want to mention that going in on the driller, if you just want to like go in and play driller and don't really want to have to worry about your secondary choice all that much, or your weapon choices, you just run the flamethrower, and when it runs out of ammo, you go to your secondary until you get another ammo drop. At tier 1, you have the choice between the high capacity tanks or the increased range. The high capacity tanks is actually something I run just because it means I don't have to reload that often in a large swarm. I can kind of just hold the trigger down. While the extra range is that nice, it's a flamethrower. I don't use flamethrowers at long range. This modifier, in my opinion, is something I would primarily run if you run an overclock that takes your range away. This is primarily what I'm going to run. At tier 2, we have 3 choices. We have bonus damage on direct damage. We have bonus heat. And we have a bonus sticky flame duration. This is going to depend entirely upon what your build is set up for. Now, if you're running a sticky flame build with the modifiers for that, so that your flames stay on the ground longer, you're going to want the sticky flame add-on. I personally don't do that because I like to shoot things in the face, not the ground. The heat one makes it so you can set things on fire faster. This essentially doubles how quickly you can set things on fire. The thing is, I like to shoot things in the face. Again, things that I shoot in the face take constant damage. If they get set on fire, that's bonus damage. This is really only good for killing Praetorians, in my opinion. It's good for Praetorians, it's good for oppressors. Things that you want to set on fire, this is good for. The things that you want to set on fire take longer to set on fire. So this doesn't really help that. And if it's something like a Mac Terra, which takes bonus fire damage and sets on fire like amazingly quick, this modifier like 1 second they're on fire. And I got filtered fuel. This increases the direct damage your gun deals and takes up to 15 damage per second. Remember, I like to shoot things in the face with fire. I'm like a pyromaniac with the driller. Yeah, give me all giddy. Alright, tier 3. We have flow rate, which is rate of fire. Don't know the stats on it. Don't care about the stats on it. I'm not a flow rate person when it comes to either of these guns. The gun drains pretty slowly. More fuel. This is what I recommend. If you run both of the more fuel add-ons, on shorter missions, short to medium missions on Has 3 or lower, you can clear it in one carry through. Like, I generally play on Has 2 or 3 doing solo missions. I can do drill dozer missions. I can do pipeline missions, one ammo, max ammo capacity. I don't need to call a supply drop for fuel, which is something a lot of people say that they have an issue with. If you're running a Sticky Flames build, this is the difference between sticky and direct. You're going to want this. So this makes it so that enemies get slowed by, I forget if it's 33% or if it's 50%, as they move through Sticky Flames. So they actually take more damage from the Sticky Flame. If you're running Sticky Flame build, you want the duration, you want the slowdown, and shit just melt in front of you. I don't play around Sticky Flame. If you do, that's your build. At the next tier, we have another +3 in Sticky Flame duration. Obviously, you're going to take this on Sticky Flame. Now, it burns is a fear chance so that any target that is in your fire, your direct fire or your Sticky Flame, has a 20% chance per second to flee in terror. This is actually what you're going to want to run on a Sticky Flame build, as opposed to this. This add-on should not be here. The reason why is because that means that they have a guaranteed fear chance after 5 seconds. This modifier increases your Sticky Flame duration to 5 seconds. And this one slows them down. So if you want to spray the ground, that's what you're going to run. It causes that, remember when a target is feared, that they run in a straight line away for 10 meters. Then they turn around and come right back into your Sticky Flame, if you've reapplied it, and the same thing, rinse and repeat. This is very good for creating a line in the sand type approach that enemies have to walk over for bunker comps and things like that. If you're like me and you like spraying things in the face with fire, you're going to run more fuel, because more fuel is awesome. Unfortunately, the modifiers here kind of suck. You have Heat Radiance, which this deals 4 heat to anything in a 4-meter range around you while you are firing your gun. This helps passively build heat and set things on fire. Generally, I don't like to be surrounded by enemies. I like to position myself so the enemies are in front of me. Therefore, this doesn't really help. The other thing is that when enemies are killed from direct damage, they have a 50% chance to explode, which deals damage to them. Some things around it. Now, obviously, this isn't very good for... You're not going to run this on a Sticky Flame build, because you're going to be killing stuff with Sticky Flames. The primary reason why I run this is I like to kill things with direct damage. As I said before, I like to spray things in the face. Watch them burn. As with all of the modifications, this is my build. Just during my overclock in, I have more ammo, just because why not? If you run this modifier, by the way, on a Sticky Flame build, you can actually remove one of these 2 modifiers and get the same effect. Like, for example, if you want, you know, more rate of fire, I don't. If you want either of these for the Sticky Flame build, if you want like a hybrid between sticky and direct, you can take one of those off and do it, but yeah. In terms of the secondary to weapon to pair with it, the best option is the Sabata, because it does have a modifier we'll talk about in the Sabata video for the bonus on burning targets. The EPC is not really great, although the EPC does have a slightly longer range. You're going to use the EPC more as a tool than a weapon in most cases. And because it does have a heat thing as well, I really don't recommend it. You're going to run the Sabata in most cases anyways. So, the flamethrower is probably your best overall weapon in terms of just fire and forget. Like, if you're somebody who's playing driller just to go in and drill to like objectives and stuff like that, and you're just here for drilling and mining purposes, the flamethrower is your best option for